nations, one temple, and endless tensions. Let's dive into the Cambodia Thailand border dispute conflict and also let's uncover the truth behind constitutional monarchy which is prevalent in Thailand today. In this eye opening vlog, I will decode the conflict between the Cambodia and Thailand, which is related to their border related dispute, tracing its roots from the Previer Temple, which is as long as starting year 1962 and judgment of International Court of Justice, which came in that year itself. The escalations have been triggered even in the month of July 2025, which is as on today, and it has escalated to a certain bad level, which has even led to bloodsheds, and lots of civilians have died as well in this warlike zone. I will then take you to Thailand's constitutional monarchy, a unique setup where tradition meets constitution, a unique political system where traditional democracy meets the constitution and parliament. Who's the real power, the king or the parliament? We are still unsure. And further, we will talk about the resignation of the current Prime Minister in the month of July 2025. Let's decode the history behind Thailand's monarchical culture and current political and socio-political disturbances. Also, let's decode the Cambodia and Thailand relationships. If you are interested in international relations, in this video you should watch till the end. Let's begin. Built by the Khmer Empire over 1,000 years ago, this ancient site is more than just stone in history. It's a symbol of national pride and a spark that ignited a decades-long border dispute. In the year 1962, the International Court of Justice, also known as ICJ, ruled that the temple belonged to Cambodia, but the land around it, about 4.6 square kilometers, remained disputed. There was no verdict on that land. In 2008, things escalated to a really drastic level. Cambodia tried to register the temple as UNESCO World Heritage Site, considering the authority that was given to it by the International Court of Justice. However, Thailand was strictly against it. It still thought that it's part of its country and strongly objected. Troops were deployed and bullets started firing. And as a result, from the year 2008 to 2011, deadly clashes, bullets got fired, lots of lives were lost and bloodsheds were all around. And now in July 2025, it's back again.
Relations between Thailand and Cambodia are spiraling downwards as tension increases over disputed border areas. On Wednesday, Thailand expelled Cambodia's ambassador and recalled its own from Phnom Penh. In response, Cambodia is recalling all its diplomatic staff, leaving behind only a second charge d'affaires and requiring the Thais to do the same. Well, this follows an incident Wednesday in which a patrolling Thai soldier lost a leg and 4 other soldiers were hurt in a landmine blast in a border area claimed by both sides. Thailand has also now closed several frontier crossings and said it will consider further measures. Last week there was a similar incident in a different part of the border in which 3 Thai soldiers were injured. The Thais say the mines were newly laid and of a type they don't use. The armies called on Cambodia to take responsibility and called the incident a serious threat to peace and stability in the border region. But Cambodia has called the claims baseless. It denies planting the devices and says these locations are still littered with old mines from previous conflicts. It also said the Thai soldiers were inside Cambodia, not Thailand, the ownership of several small parcels of land. This current, increasingly bitter face-off turned deadly in May when a Cambodian soldier died in an armed clash. Efforts to defuse the situation have so far failed. Meanwhile, nationalist passions are rising.
Artilleries, landmines, Thai fighter jets, Cambodian F-16 jets, lots of firing and bullets, honest civilians got killed, and diplomats were expelled. The border is yet again a war zone as on current date. While the border burns like it is a war zone, something equally concerning still is prevalent in Thailand. This is constitutional monarchy. This is division of power, but in real it is a dual power, dual authority which is concerning civilians and also decision-making bodies in real. The king, often considered as a playboy in real, who has a history of marrying multiple women as well as making mockery of the position that he holds, even though is a very respectable in the royal category. You can know it better in the next few videos.
Remains a monarchy where the king holds significant power. Citizens are bound by centuries-old traditions to respect their monarch, and criticizing the king or his family is strictly forbidden by law. Doing so could land you in prison for years. The current king, Maha Vajiralongkorn, also known as Rama X, has an estimated net worth of $30 billion to $70 billion. As king, he has the authority to change laws, form a government, and approve the national budget. He also participates in traditional ceremonies. With plenty of free time, King Maha enjoys a lavish lifestyle and often spends extravagantly. His eccentric behavior has occasionally left people worldwide in awe. The king's beloved poodle, Fufu, was once given the prestigious title of Air Marshal. When the dog passed away, King Maha declared a 4-day mourning period and held an extravagant funeral in its honor. Rama X has also made headlines for his unconventional fashion choices. A few years ago, he surprised onlookers in Munich by arriving in a white t-shirt and pants, revealing tattoos that covered much of his exposed body, an unusual look for a monarch. What do you think of this? The Thai king's eccentric behavior and love life have earned him widespread notoriety. Many in the country refer to him as a playboy thanks to his active personal life and preference for beautiful women. It's rumored that if the king fixes his gaze on a woman for more than 10 seconds, his attendants approach her and invite her to his chambers. For King Rama X, the word no seems meaningless. Many women, however, are eager to be close to him, drawn by the promise of immense wealth and privilege. Yet, the lives of some of his wives and concubines have ended in tragedy. Maha's first marriage took place in 1977 to his maternal cousin, Som Sawali Kityakara. A year later, the couple welcomed a daughter. It's believed that family pressure led to this union, as Maha was the crown prince at the time and didn't wield the power he has today. However, he quickly lost interest in his wife, finding her unattractive. Before long, Maha fell for actress Sujurne Vivacharawange, but he was unable to divorce his first wife at the time. 16 years after their marriage, Maha officially ended his relationship with Som Sawali through the courts, placing the blame for their failed marriage on her. Since it's illegal to criticize the king, Som Sawali had no choice but to accept the outcome. However, her story turned out to be a rare success. She remained on good terms with the king, and their daughter continues to participate in royal ceremonies. Maha's second wife, Sujane Vivacharawange, was a commoner before their marriage. After the wedding, she was given the rank of major in the Royal Army. The couple had 5 children together, and their love story seemed like a real-life Cinderella tale. Unfortunately, their happiness didn't last long. Rama X accused Sujarini of treason, alleging an affair with a 60-year-old air marshal. He made the accusations public and even leaked her nude photos to Thai magazines. Stripped of all her titles, Sujarini managed to flee the country, avoiding harsher consequences like imprisonment. Not long after, the crown prince decided to marry again. This time, his third wife was another commoner, Sujaresmi Suadi, a former waitress who had served him for years before catching his attention. Maha announced to the media that he was ready to settle down and put an end to his numerous affairs. After their wedding, the former waitress was granted the title of princess. Sirasmi must have been deeply grateful to her husband for changing her life, willing to go to great lengths to please him. At one point, Maha threw an extravagant birthday party for his pet dog Fufu. To make her husband happy, Sirasmi attended the celebration wearing only a thong and even ate from the same bowl as the dog. Photos of this shocking event can still be found online, sparking a major scandal. Despite the humiliation, Sirasmi continued to do whatever her husband wanted. However, her life took a tragic turn. Maha accused her and her family of corruption, leading to her parents and brothers being imprisoned for several years. After the divorce, Sirasmi was placed under house arrest. Her hair was shaved and she was forced to wear monk-like robes. She was then relocated to a remote province where she now lives in a tiny cottage with no basic amenities or electricity. The house itself is in poor condition.
After watching the video, you would be aware of his reality and personality in real, but still, it is a crime to criticize the king of the country. It still is. Also, the speech and anything related to the king is to be considered as noble, and as well as lots of respect needs to be given. Let's talk about the recent resignation of Prime Minister, which led to her resignation, which was a compelled resignation only because she spoke something about in her capacity which was related to military. So for her, freedom of speech was not as much as freedom, and which was not as much as free as we can see in the case of the royal king. So here comes the question: is there really a freedom of speech for both the powers? One is monarchy as well as one is the head of the constitution.
Leaked phone conversation between Thailand's Prime Minister and a Cambodian politician has sparked political turmoil and pushed the Thai government to the brink of collapse. Thailand's leader Paetongtarn Shinawatra was heard discussing a long-standing border dispute with former Cambodian leader Hun Sen. She is facing growing calls to resign.
Protests are gathering pace on the streets of Bangkok after a conversation between the Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra and former Cambodian leader Hun Sen was leaked. The two were discussing a century-long border dispute when Shinawatra addressed Sen, a veteran politician, as uncle and referred to a Thai commander as an opponent, forcing her into a public apology.
It should not have happened. I'm sorry for all the people that I've upset. I'd like to insist again that the government and the military are working together in unity, and we would also like all the people to be unified with us in order to protect our sovereignty.
The crisis is political dynamite for Thailand's pro-military and pro-monarchy opposition, with many calling for her to go.
I'm here because I want the Prime Minister to be removed from her position, because we have a Prime Minister that doesn't love Thailand, doesn't protect Thailand's interests.
If you found this vlog as informative, do like, share and subscribe for more of such information as well as videos related to international relations. Also, you would get to know about general awareness throughout the world. It would just increase your knowledge about India, its relation with other countries, and also other countries in their relation with their counterparts. Before signing off, I would give you a question. Think about it and do comment and let me know the insights. Do you think constitutional monarchies still exist in the real world, and are they outdated? Can there be a division of power in terms of monarchical head and constitutional head, and still they can work in harmony? Do share your comments down below. I would love to know about it. I'm doing a survey on this, and this would just broaden my perspective towards it. Until next time, stay aware, stay informed, stay healthy. Jai Hind.